How would you like to join a cult? Too bad, most of you are already in one. It's called company culture. I'm just kidding, or at least I wish I was. I know I make jokes about companies being a cult all the time, but now CEOs are just coming out and saying that outright. The biggest advantage you can make as a founder is to turn your team into a cult. My investors once told me to lower my standards, just hire people who get work done. I told them no. Here's why startups need to be more cult-like than CrossFit. You have too high standards. Just get people who get work done. That's what my investors said after I struggled to hire my 10th employee. My response, if I don't care about my standards for my 10th hire, what happens on my 100th? Here's what no one tells you. Thanks, ChatGPT. When you work 16 hours a day with okay, no one's working 16 hours a day. That's not healthy. You're not even getting work done. At that point, you're just there. And it's not their company as an employee. So you work 16 hours a day, and the other people who don't own it all can work regular hours. But why would you do that? The best thing you can do is run your company like a cult. Get everyone to drink the Kool-Aid. It's not like being friends where you meet monthly and can agree to disagree. It's war. I don't understand. It's an office. As I told our team, we're not a family, we're a sports team. If each one doesn't train hard and doesn't care about their performance, we can't win this all together. But they won't win it all together because they're just employees. You need to believe exactly the same principles all the time. Doesn't make any sense at all for companies to even sort of expect for employees to be as passionate about it as they are, because they just don't get the same advantages. It's just not, I say this in almost every video now. That's why we all wear the same hoodies. Not because it's cute, because uniformity shows identity. That's not like a cult at all. Not even a little bit. Oh. We're a cult, and if any of us diverges even slightly from core principles, everyone is in trouble. I've been building Kadeem for years now, made tons of hiring mistakes early on, and I'm default positive about people. I see potential in everyone, but I'm good at fixing mistakes. If someone's not aligned, they're gone in 2 weeks. It's emotionally brutal, it hurts every time, but I'd rather work 8 to 20 hours myself than compromise on my cult. Startups need to be cults. If it's less than a cult, I'm not sure it's going to work. Right, so you're probably wondering how much you get paid at this company. Here's a job position, Customer Success Engineer. And down here you can see the salary they're offering if you live in San Francisco, 70 to 150K. London, 30 to 65K. Singapore, 55 to 120K. If you know a thing or two about how expensive it is to live in San Francisco, that's not a lot of money, because chances are you'll get somewhere in the middle at 110K. Actually, you know what? Let's just ask ChatGPT to break this down. So here's the version with all of the appropriate links and sources to these numbers, but here's a rough breakdown of what it would cost to live there just for the opportunity to work at this job. Let's say your rent's $3,300, your food's $1,000, transportation, utilities, internet, health insurance, phone, miscellaneous. I mean, there's not even like medical debt, student loans, other things in here. But let's just say somehow it's $5,600 a month to pay your bills. After tax, you're only taking home roughly $6,300. So that's about $720 left of fun money, or other bill money if it's not included in this. So you'd essentially be working for $180 of fun money per week, $25 a day. Oh, and by the way, if you're actually working 16 hours a day at this company, your true hourly wage is only $26 an hour. Again, this is assuming that you'll be offered 110K. I love this little lifestyle reality check with the zombie emoji, because a person working 16 hours a day doesn't cook, rarely sees sunlight, spends a huge portion of money on food delivery, has no work-life balance, no meaningful savings, can't buy a home or afford to date. Hopefully, they don't get into an emergency because they can't afford that either. And they're extremely replaceable to the company and probably feel like a zombie with a salary badge. This, of course, applies to employees a lot more than it does to CEOs. Now, if you're wondering what the interview process is, it's actually a 7-step interview process, but it's actually 8 because you have to click on the apply button at the top and fill out a form. And then you start the recruiting process. Step 1. Virtual video interview, quick 15-minute chat. If you're in engineering, you get an optional leet code test. If you're non-engineering, you get a take-home assignment. For engineering, you do live coding and problem solving on Google Meet with team members from the team you're applying to join. Non-engineering, you get an interview to review your take-home work. Next step, 30-minute interview with the cult executive officer. Next part, a day in the office working alongside the cult. Step 7, you offer or feedback within 2 days. This is a whole lot of work to do a whole lot of work so that you can hopefully get by. Work like the CEO without any of the benefits, but you can maybe get some equity. Now, if you thought that was interesting, sometimes they just put it in the company name. I'm excited to share that I've joined Sauron as CEO. You want to guess what they do? They're building the next era of home safety, proactive, always-on protection that detects, deters, and responds in real time through a single, seamless system. It has AI and autonomous vehicles and robotics into your home. For security reasons, of course. What a name to use. That really says I'm always watching. Mike Wazowski. I think most people are doing just fine without always-on security. No need to make up reasons to watch people in their houses. Now, quick pause. Today's video is sponsored by Novo and their brand new Omni chair, the one I'm sitting in right now. Another chair, Josh? How many chairs can one person possibly have? And the answer is yes, all of them. Every chair. Infinite chairs. Because when another shows up that's actually better than the last one, I'm going to talk about it. And right now, the chair sitting behind me or underneath me is the Novo Omni chair. And it's taken the top spot. And I'll show you why.
I'm 6'2". This is where I sit, and if I lean backwards, I'll lid. This is where I'm at. And then you can adjust the back to be however you prefer it. So when you're moving around at your desk, doing things, the chair comes with you. You don't have to slide around to get comfortable. The whole thing is molded to my back. And then the armrests also swivel here. So if you feel like doing this, you know, say you're in a Zoom meeting and just past lunch, time to take a nap. You know you don't have anything to say in this call. Well, in the Novo, you can just go 160 degrees backwards. Now, anyways, after you wake up from that experience, you can adjust these so that you don't actually fall asleep again. Oh, also, the headrest here, it moves. Put this little button on your finger, and it goes back. So you can adjust this. Oh, and I didn't even talk about this thing for your feet and for your calves here. So when you're laying back at 160 degrees here, I mean, it's made for the meetings. There should have been emails. When I watch this in the little mini viewfinder from like 8 feet away, it looks like I'm in one of those Wall-E chairs. And I have the joystick here and I just go forward. It's so comfortable. Oh, and the battery on this thing is right here and it has a bruise. Hold on. Let me reload. And then on the backside here is a USB-C port where you can just plug it in and charge it. I charged it once. Since I've had it, it's still pretty much full. I mean, just imagine in Discord. Hold on, boys. I'm going to recharge. I want to use my chair massager here. The chair's got it all, in my opinion. That's why you keep seeing it everywhere else besides just this channel. It's cozy.
Assembling it was pretty straightforward. It wasn't one of those 48-step furniture builds where you lose a bolt halfway through it and you have no idea what to do. So yes, I do have a ridiculous number of chairs, but the Novo Omni here, out of everything I've tried so far, this one really does sit at the top. Go check it out with the link down in the description. Thanks so much to Novo for sponsoring today's video and really relieving the tension in my back. But now, back to the content. We'll be taking a look at Garen here, who over Thanksgiving break moved his wife and 4 kids away for the next 6 months so that he can focus on his company called Artifact. Isn't that like one of the steps of joining a cult, is they isolate you from your family? And when he tells someone this in person, he's met with a blank face, confusion, or some form of "that's crazy" comment. Here's what I know about running a company. In the early days and months, time and attention are what moves the needle. If I don't give it everything, plus some, we're not going to succeed. So for the next 6 months, I'm 100% focused on building what we believe will transform how people create software. It's crazy to me that he sees his wife and kids as such baggage, but I'd rather they see me do everything possible to succeed, but they won't see you because you move them away. I'd rather they see me do everything possible to succeed, not just talk about my dreams, actually pursue them with full commitment. Talk is cheap. But don't worry. For his wife, it was actually a pretty easy decision, even though a painful one. We had the means, and they had a place to go. If this fails, we'll lose some time and money. But stuff is just stuff. We'll be fine. If this fails, and I didn't give it everything I've got, I choose temporary sacrifice over permanent regret. Have you considered that you'll permanently regret making this temporary sacrifice because you have 4 children? The first thing we had to do was post on LinkedIn to talk about how committed we are. P.S. I'm not usually comfortable posting about the founder journey from a personal perspective, but people keep asking about this side of the story. Do they? Now, it's not often that we see people from the inside starting to realize the Kool-Aid they've been drinking. Take this person here, who realized yesterday that working in sales ruins your brain a bit. He got a call from a number, and before he even answered, analyzed the area code, predicted the objection, planned his "I'm not interested" pattern interrupt, and decided whether the caller sounded like someone I could coach. I pick up, I'm ready. full sales armor ready to go. But it wasn't a salesperson, it was my dentist, just telling me I missed my appointment again. And instead of apologizing, I found myself giving her feedback on her reminder process. And she said, "Do you speak like that to everyone?" That's when it hit me. When you coach cold calling every day, you start treating the entire world like a pipeline. Not everyone's a prospect, not every call needs an opener, and sometimes it's just your dentist. Did you know that? Not everyone's a prospect. Sometimes people are just people doing their best. But what do you think? How's your cult executive officer treating you? A lot of team building, team bonding even, building up that loyalty. Let me know down in the comments below. I love seeing what you all have to say. And if you have anything you'd like me to showcase on the channel, ideas like this or anything else you think would be of interest, you can email me, Instagram, Discord, however you want to do it. Links for all of that are down below. Having said all that, I hope everyone's doing really well, and I'll see you in the next one.